Love is often introduced to us as something that should fit a neat pattern, a logical pairing that makes sense on paper. Yet beyond those expectations, love behaves less like a formula and more like an untamed current, intense, surprising, and impossible to predict. At times, it quietly dismantles every assumption we hold. At times, it brings together two souls separated by entire generations, standing firm against doubtful whispers. Tonight, we explore 8 of Hollywood's most talked about age gap romances, stories that move past differences of 20, 30, and even 46 years, revealing how connection can exist far beyond numbers. Can distance in age become the very bond that holds two people together? Or does it slowly turn into a weight no relationship can carry forever? What you're about to discover suggests that affection doesn't weaken with passing years, it often transforms. Before we step into these stories, tell us where you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe, share your perspective in the comments, and tap like so we can uncover these journeys together. Now, let's begin. For someone as universally recognized as Captain America, keeping a relationship out of the spotlight for more than a year is no small accomplishment. It's a quiet declaration of valuing personal space over public noise. Chris Evans, born in 1981, has become a familiar presence to audiences across the globe. By contrast, Alba Baptista, born in 1997, represents a new generation of talent from Portugal. Admired for her command of multiple languages, her standout performance in Warrior Nun, and her commitment to meaningful humanitarian efforts in Cambodia. At first sight, their worlds appeared destined to remain separate. Yet it was those very differences that sparked an uncommon pull. They chose to nurture their bond quietly, beyond flashing cameras and public speculation. Only toward the end of 2022 did the wider world catch on, realizing that the two had been shaping a deliberate, grounded, and meaningful connection in private, one that stood in clear contrast to the larger-than-life persona often associated with Chris Evans. Their 16-year age difference quickly ignited conversations online about generational divides. Yet people within their circle point to foundations far more lasting than numbers' mutual principles, a shared hunger for learning, and a sense of emotional balance. Alba is said to add a new layer of perspective to Evans's world. She is seen not only as a performer, but as someone guided by global awareness and purposeful engagement beyond the screen. Her ability to move effortlessly between languages, along with her dedication to meaningful causes, formed a quiet balance with Chris's grounded and sincere nature. What ties them together is not the shine of celebrity culture, but a steady exchange of respect and understanding. That sense of intention reached a milestone in 2023, when they chose a deeply personal wedding. The gathering was modest and warm, shared only with family and a few trusted friends. By choosing commitment without headlines or grand announcements, they sent a clear message about what they value most: privacy, authenticity, and substance over spectacle.
We were told love had rules, had lines to obey.
Not long afterward, Chris Evans made a choice that surprised many observers. He stepped away from acting for an entire year. For someone at the height of international recognition, this pause was unusual, and it was widely interpreted as an intentional shift toward personal balance, commitment, and long-term steadiness rather than constant visibility. The journey he shares with Alba serves as a quiet reminder that even the most recognized figures seek calm and grounding. Their story suggests that protecting love often means choosing privacy, simplicity, and mutual respect over relentless attention.
Calendars, years should stay in their place.
Within Hollywood's glittering and high-stakes arena, one figure stands out as the ultimate architect behind the scenes, the woman often called the momager, a symbol of influence, strategy, and control. Any discussion of modern entertainment power would be incomplete without Kris Jenner. Born in 1955, the visionary force who shaped the Kardashian-Jenner name into a global enterprise. The mind behind a billion-dollar legacy, Chris crossed paths with Corey Gamble, born in 1980, in 2014. Unlike the world she dominates, Corey did not emerge from film sets or reality television, making his presence an unexpected contrast within her carefully constructed universe. He had quietly established himself away from cameras, developing a career in talent management and global touring alongside some of the music industry's most influential names. Their first encounter unfolded at a birthday celebration for designer Riccardo Tisci, hosted by Kanye West, an environment that naturally reflected Chris's larger-than-life social circle. Almost instantly, their 25-year age difference became a topic of public discussion. Doubts surfaced, motives were questioned, headlines multiplied, and many voices confidently predicted the connection would be temporary rather than enduring. Yet the passing years have revealed a very different reality. Within a world defined by motion, attention, and constant observation, Corey has gradually emerged as a place of calm. Those around them often describe him as composed, grounded, and quietly resilient. He is seen as an anchor, a steady force able to counterbalance an environment driven by speed and pressure. Rather than competing with the spotlight, he remains comfortably outside of it, offering presence instead of noise. Despite appearing regularly on the family's reality programs, he has preserved a notably low-profile nature, standing apart from the constant exposure surrounding him. Corey has developed respectful, steady bonds with Chris's children, while remaining clear about his place as a source of support rather than authority or attention-seeking presence. That sense of reliability and emotional consistency has played a central role in sustaining their connection over time. Perhaps most compelling is the choice they have made together, embracing long-term partnership without the formal expectations of marriage. As of 2025, Chris and Corey continue their journey side by side.
The hearts should match calendars, years should stay in their place.
What makes their connection endure is its refusal to copy any predefined script of romance. They are two self-sufficient adults, secure in both career and resources, who have designed a rhythm that suits only them. For a business leader of Chris's stature, choosing not to remarry can also be read as a thoughtful approach, preserving independence while keeping personal priorities clear. For Corey, the same choice signals something equally meaningful: respect for the life Chris has already built, and a form of commitment rooted in intention rather than paperwork. We open this enduring chapter of love with a pair whose journey reflects an unexpected harmony. The 26-year difference between Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin is more than a statistic. It marks the space between distinct worlds and life phases that ultimately converged. When they first crossed paths, Alec Baldwin, born in 1958, had long secured his place as a household name, carrying a career that stretched from the intensity of Broadway to the reach of cinema, most memorably through his defining presence on 30 Rock. Yet Alec's private world had long been shaped by strain, relentless attention, and challenges he would later speak about with honesty. Beneath the public image, he was seeking something steadier, a sense of grounding amid the constant turbulence of fame. In contrast, Hilaria Thomas, born in 1984, was shaping her own path in New York as a yoga instructor and wellness guide. She arrived with a markedly different presence, composed, inward-looking, rooted in mindfulness, and guided by disciplined, healthy routines. It is precisely this contrast that became the spark.
It moves like a storm.
On that pivotal evening in 2011, inside the refined setting of Sarabeth's, Alec first noticed Hilaria. A man known for command and certainty found himself disarmed by the quiet composure she carried. He would later describe the feeling as immediate and deeply striking, an unexplainable pull, a sense of recognition that went beyond words. There was no dramatic display, no theatrical flourish. Instead, his first step toward her was disarmingly modest, almost philosophical, offering not spectacle but sincerity. "I need to understand you." What sets this connection apart is the way it has grown unhurried, natural, and remarkably calm, standing in sharp contrast to the loud, accelerated rhythm Alec once knew so well. The 26-year age difference has fueled endless conversations about perspective and purpose. Yet for them, that very gap has become a source of strength rather than division. Alec brings intensity, expression, and raw emotion, while Hilaria contributes balance, clarity, determination, and a talent for structure, two contrasting energies that quietly complete one another. She gradually became the stabilizing force that grounded his world, particularly when life entered more challenging seasons. Alec has often spoken openly about how the strength and rhythm of their family, welcoming 7 children over time, came from Hilaria's steady presence and constructive outlook. Their bond was never about perfect symmetry, but about balance through contrast. She offered calm, structure, and clarity, while he contributed intensity, warmth, and emotional richness. In the end, this interplay of strengths proved far more enduring than any similarity in age ever could.
Had rules, had lines to obey.
They chose to formalize their bond in 2012 at Old St. Patrick's Cathedral, stepping into married life while gradually building a large family in full public view. Their journey has not been free from scrutiny or intense commentary, particularly regarding questions around Hilaria's background and public narrative. Even so, their partnership has remained deliberate and resilient. Instead of allowing outside voices to define them, they leaned further into commitment and placed family at the center of their priorities. Their story quietly illustrates that when two grounded individuals decide to build on mutual respect and intention, surrounding noise fades into little more than distant reverberation.
It listens to timing, not numbers or charts.
From the rush of careers and expanding families, the focus turns to a connection shaped by maturity and a deeply shared priority, the meaning of being a parent. Bradley Cooper, born in 1975, and Gigi Hadid, born in 1995, come from two parallel realms, cinema and high fashion, each influential in its own way. Bradley, recognized for his depth as both a filmmaker and actor, has long drawn public attention for his personal life, especially his thoughtful approach to co-parenting his daughter alongside supermodel Irina Shayk. Gigi, a worldwide figure in fashion, is likewise navigating motherhood while co-parenting her daughter with singer Zayn Malik. Both entered this chapter after relationships shaped by intense attention and emotional weight. What draws them together most is not spectacle, but a shared understanding of how to balance global visibility with the quiet, demanding role of raising a child. That common ground became a steady, unspoken base for their connection. So when their relationship became public toward the end of 2023, the 20-year difference in age caught many by surprise.
Some found their calm, some found a shelter.
What surprised those around them most was how effortless the connection felt from the very beginning. There was no sense of rivalry or theatrical display. Instead, their bond grew from a quiet alignment of energies, grounded stability, emotional awareness, and a shared, understated humor. Bradley seemed to find in Gigi a sense of ease and balance, while Gigi discovered in Bradley the reassuring steadiness of someone shaped by experience and responsibility.
At its own pace, unbothered by time, untouched by disgrace.
Beyond the eye-catching headlines, what truly matters to them is something far more restrained and sincere. They gravitate toward moments that feel calm, personal, and unmistakably human, shared meals away from attention, slow walks through familiar streets, and, most importantly, meaningful time with their children. This discretion is intentional. Their connection does not rely on grand gestures, public declarations, or turning private life into spectacle. It exists quietly, without the need for validation or amplification.
Some met in the quiet, not under the stage.
Instead, they have chosen intentional restraint as the cornerstone of their connection, a choice that feels increasingly uncommon in today's attention-driven culture. Their actions suggest that after reaching the highest levels of professional success, what matters most is not visibility, but protected space where a bond can grow without interference. Their story quietly reinforces a timeless idea: relationships rooted in discretion, respect, and an understanding of life's deeper roles often endure longer than those built for display because they honor what exists beyond the spotlight.
But choosing each other wherever they go.
In an industry often shaped by orchestrated introductions and extravagant gatherings, the connection between David Cross and Amber Tamblyn began in a moment that was unexpectedly ordinary. Their paths crossed on an airplane, far from red carpets or curated social scenes. David Cross, born in 1964, was already an established figure in comedy, widely recognized for his incisive, satirical perspective, fearless stand-up approach, and his memorable work on the acclaimed series Arrested Development.
Decide to stay long after the
Amber Tamblyn, born in 1983, first gained attention through her television work before growing into a respected poet, author, and outspoken advocate for social awareness. Coming from distinct corners of the creative landscape, the two found themselves seated side by side. What followed was far from the usual polite small talk of air travel. A genuine connection emerged quick, natural, and surprising. Despite a 19-year difference in age, their bond took shape around shared humor, curiosity of the mind, and a rare creative alignment that felt both spontaneous and deeply familiar.
headlines to obey. That heart should match cow.
They were united by a shared instinct to question society and explore ideas that are rarely simple. What lends authenticity to their story is David Cross's early uncertainty. He openly acknowledged moments of pause shaped by the difference in age. In a world where such gaps often invite speculation about intent or longevity, caution felt inevitable. Yet Amber Tamblyn's clarity of thought, self-assured presence, and distinctive creative voice steadily dissolved those doubts, replacing hesitation with genuine connection.
Numbers of charts, they said it wouldn't last, said it couldn't be real, but silence grew.
She was never positioned as a distant admirer, but as an equal in thought, someone capable of exchanging ideas, challenging perspectives, and sharing a broader outlook on life. She introduced a renewed sense of energy, along with a deep engagement in literature, culture, and civic dialogue that resonated strongly with Cross's long-held interests. Their bond deepened quickly, extending beyond romance into creative partnership and shared direction. Side by side, they became involved in advocacy, writing, and thoughtful engagement with the issues they cared about, allowing their private connection to evolve into a meaningful, purpose-driven collaboration.
They learned how to hide, not from each other, but from the outside.
They formalized their partnership in 2012 with a celebration that was lighthearted, unconventional, and true to their individual spirit. The birth of their daughter, Marlo, in 2017, added a new layer of connection and purpose to their lives. Together, they have encouraged open conversations around equality, personal autonomy, and the realities of balancing creative ambition with family life. David Cross and Amber Tamblyn have embraced a shared identity as a couple defined by wit, honesty, and a willingness to engage thoughtfully with complexity rather than shy away from it.
Not mention birthdays, but mention the root.
Their story suggests that lasting connection emerges when two minds move in sync and when a shared sense of purpose becomes stronger than any difference in years. They walk through both celebration and challenge together, meeting life's uncertainties as a team. Guided by mutual respect and deep understanding, their bond continues to grow, offering a clear reminder that genuine connection is defined not by age, but by alignment of values and intent. If this perspective resonates with you, drop a 1 in the comments. If you see it differently, feel free to leave a 0 and share your thoughts. Enjoy the video, and remember to like, share, and subscribe to support our work. Turn on notifications so you never miss what's next, and pass this video along to friends so you can explore these inspiring stories together.
Mention birthdays, but mention the root.
The relationship between David Foster and Catherine McPhee unfolds like a carefully layered musical piece. developed patiently over many years, showing how shared respect for creativity can become a lasting bond. David Foster, born in 1949, is more than a celebrated producer. He is widely regarded as a visionary who helped shape modern popular music, earning multiple Grammy Awards and working alongside legendary artists. Katharine McPhee, born in 1984, first captured public attention through American Idol, bringing forward a striking vocal ability paired with an effortless stage presence. They first crossed paths in 2006, during a period when Foster took on the role of mentor to McPhee within the framework of the show. Their initial connection was grounded entirely in professionalism. Foster recognized raw promise, while McPhee looked to an experienced guide for direction and growth. At that stage, it was a strictly instructional bond, centered on craft and discipline, with no suggestion of anything beyond creative exchange. For many years afterward, their paths moved alongside one another, intersecting occasionally but remaining distinct.
They learned how to hide, not from each other, but from the outside.
They stayed in touch and continued working together across different creative projects. Over time, what began as a professional alliance slowly and almost imperceptibly evolved into something deeper. Their connection was never driven by impulse or surface appeal, but by a steady growth of trust and appreciation. Foster came to recognize in McPhee not just vocal beauty, but artistic depth, emotional awareness, and an uplifting presence. In turn, McPhee discovered in Foster a source of steadiness, perspective, and consistent creative encouragement elements that supported her as she navigated a complex and evolving career.
It doesn't decay, it doesn't fade.
When their romantic connection eventually became public, the 35-year age difference quickly drew intense attention. Relationships with such a wide generational gap are often met with doubt and speculation. Yet this pair responded not with defensiveness, but with composure and quiet honesty. Their actions suggested that alignment of values and emotional understanding mattered far more than numbers on a timeline. McPhee has frequently spoken of him as thoughtful, giving, and the most influential guide she has encountered both creatively and personally.
Some found their anchor, some found their calm, some found a shelter inside another.
From David Foster's perspective, the relationship brought a renewed sense of vitality and creative spark. What they share is less a conventional romance and more a meeting of spirits, where emotional rhythm and artistic understanding outweigh the relevance of age. Their union was sealed in 2019 during an intimate, romantic ceremony in London. A defining milestone followed in 2021 with the arrival of their son, Rennie. For Foster, embracing fatherhood again at 70 was not merely a life event, but a profoundly symbolic turning point, one that opened a fresh chapter marked by reflection, renewal, and deeper purpose.
For courage, for truth, not mention birthdays, but mention.
McPhee is more than a life partner. She is also the one who opened the door to a renewed experience of parenthood, adding a meaningful chapter to an already remarkable life journey. As of 2025, their partnership continues to reflect balance, where creativity, family, and quiet affection coexist naturally. Their story illustrates how shared respect for artistic expression can form a deeper and more lasting bond than conventional measures ever could. By choosing to grow through beauty and creativity together, they move beyond the boundaries of time itself.
Judged from the distance, they counted the years, they whispered intentions, projected their fears.
We arrive at a story that seems to rewrite every assumption about age and connection, one of the widest age differences in Hollywood, yet also among the most uplifting and life-affirming. A 46-year gap fades into irrelevance when viewed through the lens of shared spirit. Dick Van Dyke, born in 1925, stands as one of entertainment's most enduring and cherished figures. With a career stretching across more than 7 decades, his legacy is tied to timeless classics like Mary Poppins, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and The Dick Van Dyke Show. He represents an unmistakable blend of warmth, wit, and an ever-present enthusiasm for life.
They learned how to hide, not from each other, but from the outside. They built something quiet.
Arlene Silver, born in 1971, shaped her professional path behind the camera as a makeup artist within the entertainment world. She is often described as warm, imaginative, and genuinely kind. Their paths crossed in 2006 at a Screen Actors Guild Awards gathering. At that point, he was firmly established as an icon of Hollywood history, while she was 46 years his junior. What began as a moment of professional respect gradually unfolded into something far more personal, marking the start of a connection that would grow deeper with time. The 46-year difference between them quickly became a topic of public curiosity. Yet for the two of them, what mattered most was how effortlessly the connection formed. It began with ordinary exchanges and lighthearted conversations, slowly evolving through shared humor, creative moments, and a mutual appreciation for life's simple pleasures. Their journey gently illustrates that when two spirits align, years and experience lose their power to divide, becoming little more than background details in a much larger story.
Commitment was private, not staged for a screen. Some found their anchors, some found their calm.
In 2012, they chose to marry through a modest, heartfelt ceremony that mirrored the essence of their connection. No spectacle required, only genuine devotion. Arlene Silver has since become a steady source of renewal and encouragement in Dick Van Dyke's life. Beyond being a life partner, she is a joyful presence who inspires movement, creativity, and daily vitality. Through her support, he has continued to dance, stay engaged, and embrace creative expression, allowing optimism and enthusiasm to remain central to his life, even as the years advance.
It asks for respect.
People within their circle often speak of their bond as light-filled, tender, and grounded in deep appreciation. It is a partnership that may have seemed improbable at first glance, yet feels perfectly aligned in practice, illustrating how genuine connection can renew the human spirit. As of 2025, Dick and Arlene continue to stand as living evidence that affection can defy expectations, elevate the soul, and gently dissolve long-held assumptions about age or time. Their relationship reflects companionship, mutual care, and a shared capacity to keep discovering wonder at any stage of life.
They judged from the distance, they counted the years, they whispered intentions.
The relationship between Elton John and David Furnish is far more than a footnote in the life of a global icon. It reads as a sweeping narrative of renewal, quiet courage, and the lasting power of a bond rooted in honesty. Elton John, born in 1947, stands among the most influential figures in modern music history. He soared to extraordinary heights of success, yet his journey also carried him through periods of inner turmoil, excess, and profound personal reckoning that would later reshape his life and legacy. In the early 1990s, after emerging from rehabilitation, Elton John began the deliberate work of reconstructing his life, searching for stability and a renewed direction. David Furnish, born in 1962 and working as an advertising executive at the time, entered that chapter in 1993 during a small dinner gathering in Windsor. He came from outside the spectacle of celebrity culture, carrying with him calm restraint, thoughtful presence, and a rare emotional awareness. That contrast made a lasting impression, and Elton found himself immediately drawn to the sense of balance and clarity David represented.
It asks for respect, for courage.
In an environment often defined by excess and heightened emotion, David's authenticity and composed nature stood apart from anything Elton had known before. He would later reflect on that first encounter as a quiet turning point, one that revealed love did not need intensity or spectacle to be real, only calm and clarity to endure. Although 15 years separated them in age, that difference quickly faded against the depth of their emotional connection. David became a grounding presence, a true life partner, and a steady force behind the scenes, offering the order and reassurance that Elton had long been searching for.
They judged from the distance, they counted the years, they whispered.
Their bond extended far beyond private affection and became part of a wider social moment. Rather than keeping their connection out of view, they allowed it to stand openly as a symbol of visibility and dignity. In 2005, following the passage of the Civil Partnership Act in the United Kingdom, Elton and David chose to formalize their union among the very first couples to do so. This decision carried meaning beyond ceremony. It marked a cultural shift, signaling recognition, legitimacy, and the quiet normalization of a love that deserved equal standing under the law.
In rooms full of cameras.
The sight of them completing the formal process and celebrating that moment resonated far beyond their own lives, offering reassurance and optimism to LGBTQ+ communities across the globe. Their dedication did not end with that milestone. When marriage equality became law in 2014, they chose to mark the moment with a discreet but deeply significant wedding. That choice reinforced their bond and made clear that, to them, the recognition of marriage carried profound meaning, not just as a label, but as a shared affirmation of love and equality.
Moving at its own pace, unbothered by time, untouched by disgrace.
Together, Elton and David created a contemporary family through surrogacy, opening a new chapter of their lives with the arrival of their two sons, Zachary and Elijah. Becoming parents reshaped their partnership, placing emphasis on care, consistency, and a love that is steady rather than performative. Throughout this journey, David Furnish has been a central guiding presence, intentionally preserving a sense of normalcy for their children and thoughtfully limiting unnecessary exposure, allowing family life to remain grounded and protected.
From each other, but from the outside, they built something quiet, something.
More than a personal partnership, their bond has become inseparable from Elton John's humanitarian mission. Together, they lead the Elton John AIDS Foundation, now recognized as one of the most impactful global efforts addressing HIV and AIDS. By uniting visibility, influence, and shared responsibility, they have helped mobilize vast resources and awareness, transforming private commitment into collective action. Their journey quietly underscores a larger message. When purpose guides success, love can extend far beyond the self and become a force for lasting change.
Doesn't decay, it doesn't fade just because.
As of 2025, Elton and David continue to stand as one of the most resilient partnerships in the world of entertainment. The strength of their union is not defined by accolades or commercial success, but by mutual regard, emotional clarity, and a purpose they share. Their journey reflects a quiet transformation, one life finding balance and direction through the steadiness of another. It serves as a lasting reminder that when connection is rooted in respect and aligned values, it can rise above differences in age and gently dismantle long-held social assumptions.
When the noise faded, what still remained was patience, devotion, and choosing again.
These 8 journeys together reshape how love is understood in Hollywood and beyond. We've seen that whether the distance is 15 years or 46, time itself is never the true obstacle. Assumptions and the absence of mutual respect are. Meaningful connection looks for alignment of spirit rather than matching dates on a calendar. After witnessing these layered stories, what insight stands out to you about love that endures beyond age? Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe for more stories that challenge expectations. Until next time.